just talking about it before the show, before we went on air. They are a walking mark. That's both of them. That's all they are. I mean, it's everything from the 80s, from all the cool catchphrases and gimmicks of the 90s, and the finishing moves. It's an acquisition of one product, and that's who they are. They're just complete marks. But they faced the Briscoes, who, man, they are intense. I had no idea what to expect between them. From a live standpoint, I've seen a couple of their matches before, but they were really cool, down-to-earth people. I met Kevin Kelly while we were there. He was awesome in the Attitude Era. Who else did we see there?
We got the group picture with Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, that was really cool. Steve Carino came out and did like a little promo. Original. Yeah, it was awesome. He had surgery. I don't know where it was. Maybe his neck. Yeah. And he came out and did a promo and talked, to everybody, talking about when he was possibly going to return or if he's ever going to return again. But our wishes and good thoughts go to you, Steve Carino, if you're listening, which we know you are because we told you about it. We gave you our card, so hopefully you're tuning in. But Max, what was your favorite match of the whole night?
Oh gosh, that's real tough. There was just so many good matches that night. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Bucks and the Briscoes,
But that last match, the 5-on-5,
it was okay.
Oh, come on, dude.
It was okay. It was weird. They could have just did it a little bit better, having like Roderick Strong with the Bucks and the Briscoes versus Lethal with the rest of the House of Truth, and maybe Cedric Alexander and Adam Page.
But come on, it was 5-on-5, and it was just
random.
It was called spot after called spot after called spot, but it was entertaining.
Oh yeah,
from a wrestling standpoint, like you can still be entertaining in the wrestling physical match itself without having to do a lot of backstage antics and a lot of nonsense promos cut in between matches. This was entertainment during the match, and that's what's missing, I think, in WWE right now.
Well, you want to send the fans home on a high. You want to send them home saying, "Wow!" That's why the main event is the main event. Is what people think about on their way home. That's what they're talking about.
What they're left with.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you want that main event to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Your selling point.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everything that you do on that show should be building up to that main event.
Well, you know what? We already got a caller. We're going to go ahead and take a call this morning on the Wrestling Row. Good morning. How are you? Hey.
What's up,
How are you?
What's going on?
I know it's you. How you been, man?
What's up, B Squad?
Yeah. B Squad.
B Squad.
Are you having fun? Are you losing service because you're in the mountains, or are you losing service because you have Sprint, not a sponsor? Oh, okay, just checking. Oh, yeah.
Jog.
Or was it Yog? It's maybe a long J. Apparently, it's just something that you just run in an extended period of time. Wait! Boobs! 1, 2, boobs! The guy in front of us, bless his heart, I guess that was his wife. We were sitting second row, and on the front row there was this couple right in front of us, which I thought we were annoying them for a while, but God, I think they loved it. They were doing nothing but just cracking up the whole time. And man, I think she had a bruised head by the end of the night, don't you think, Justin? On purpose. They are ruthless, man. Like, I watched some before, we actually went to the event. I was trying to catch up and do my homework on them. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty out there, but gosh, seeing them live, they are scary looking. Like, they're the ripped camo shorts and the backwoods You know, the
Mark missing like 4 teeth.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Wyatt family-esque in a way, sort
A
of.
little more redneck.
Yeah, but redneck. It's like the redneck Wyatts. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Right. And they're both strong. Like, I mean, what was your. Yeah, go ahead. Everybody. Absolutely everybody. I was talking earlier when we went on the air about meeting Kevin Kelly because I'm not the biggest Kevin Kelly fan, but I appreciated his work in the Attitude Era. You know, he's the guy who did all the backstage stuff. You know. Oh yeah, and he did. Yeah, and such. You know, it was at the fairgrounds, and man, what would you say about 250, 300 people tops? Maybe more than that, really. Well, sure, yeah. All three of the people that were sitting up top. So sorry, 303. Let me correct myself. My bad. But I thought that 5-on-5 match at the very end, and I thought Cheeseburger, man, that guy got over that night.
I was waiting to say something about that.
I mean, the guy weighs a $105 tops, and has what's his gimmick? What is Cheeseburger's gimmick? Does he even have a gimmick?
Yeah.
It's just him.
It's just Cheeseburger.
And Dalton Castle, come on. It was cool seeing him. He was a really cool worker.
Oh, he's got his dimples going.
No.
Max is exposing the dimples right now. You know he's in dimples. He's in dimple mode.
Smirking.
2 sweet dimples.
No, I know you can't top me, Justin. You've never been able to top me, and yeah. All right. Have fun, B Squad. Be safe.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you, man.
Hey, man.
Again, that's the co-host of the Wrestling Grill with Drumb and Drumber. He is the drum to my drummer, Justin Holder. He is in Virginia doing Thanksgiving festivities. But yes, we want to extend a happy Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving to all of our listeners right here on Fox Sports Shows on the Wrestling Grill. But we were just in the middle of talking about Ring of Honor. And Max, do you have anything you want to follow up with that before we move on?
I think one of the other biggest moments of the night was in the 5-on-5 tag match when Mark and Jay faced off.
No, that was great.
They kept doing the boots to the face
Yeah,
to each other.
yeah. That was really cool.
That got such a reaction.
Well, there was one. I did enjoy seeing. I'm not the biggest fan, but I did enjoy seeing Jerry Lynn. He came out and cut a promo. His hair. I didn't even
I know.
I didn't even know how.
Got his
I
hair
knew the
off,
guy
shaved
was
his
tiny.
beard
I knew he
off.
was a little
Yeah.
guy. But man, he's probably 5'9", 5'10", if that. He cut his
Yeah.
hair short. You know, he's in his day, you know, clothes, gear, whatever. And man, I felt bad for him because there's not much more he's going to be doing. I mean, it's like he got injured and.
The sad part about Jerry Lynn is, you know, in his day, he was such an amazing talent and just got crapped on. Like, you remember in the earlier days of Nitro, Mr. JL, that was Jerry Lynn under a mask, basically. And, you know, he was basically their workhorse. Like, he took every crazy bump you could think of.
And he did it 100%. Like, he
And
went
100%.
really fast.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, he was over with the fans, and then, you know, he went back he went over to ECW, made a great name
Huge.
for himself. Like,
That's
when-
where I think he established himself.
yeah,
really.
like
Oh, yeah.
when, you know, people ask me to show them a match of why I like pro wrestling, I show them Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn. Like, to me, that is the epitome of what wrestling and what means for me to be a wrestling fan is about. And, you know, he had this great run in ECW. Then he went over to WWE. They gave him the light heavyweight title, but it was kind of a very
There
lackluster.
you go, the light heavyweight. There, that's right.
It was a very lackluster run. He basically jobbed it out to Jeff Hardy in about 3 weeks. And then he was gone again. I think he went back to ECW, and then, you know, he had a fairly decent run in TNA, but he's just one of those guys I think could have been so much bigger than he was given the
He's
opportunity.
classy. That's one thing I like about
Exactly.
he's not a douchebag. Like
Very intelligent
very,
man,
yeah,
too.
He comes across that way even when he talks, you know, his mannerisms. But he came out and he was cutting a promo because they're hyping a match between Jay Lethal and the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Which is going to be a fantastic
Amazing.
match. Amazing. Phenomenal, pun intended.
A wrestling
match.
fan's dream match.
Oh my gosh. And Jay Lethal, he can't, man, there's nothing that guy can't do. Cut promos, move in the ring. I mean, everything is, and for a few minutes, or for a couple of weeks, he was the only champion in the world, right?
Yeah, only world
Legit,
champion.
yeah, as far as a company's concerned, because with the vacated title in WWE and TNA, you know,
Yeah.
having a true champion, and we could say Global Force, but are they?
What about
No.
Finn Balor?
And did TNA ever really have a true champion anyway?
Who was it before?
EC3,
That's right.
and then Matt Hardy beat him, but they stripped Matt Hardy of it, and now it's vacant.
Matt Hardy. I was watching some YouTube on them the other day against the Young Bucks. What a fantastic match that was. I highly suggest watching the Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys. Great. There's actually a couple matches, part 1 and part 2. But like I said, this show is all about you. Don't forget to call in here. It's 256-764-1340. Again, it's 256-764-1340. You're listening to The Wrestling Reel. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Matt Hardy version old.
Matt Hardy version
Nervous
done.
before the show starts. But then once that, when it's go time, and 15 minutes goes by like that, I go, oh my God, this is great.
We still got like this to talk about too.
Oh yeah, we hadn't even done
And you're not having to reel Justin in from talking about himself.
Quit interrupting me.
So, do the intro this time, or?
Yeah. And I need to give some.
He stormed out of here last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like he threw the headphones and just walked out.
Like, I still want to do a week where I come in, like, and he doesn't know I'm coming in.
Honestly, you know what my favorite part of the ROH strip was, Chad?
What?
Chris bullying Justin.
Oh yeah, getting it back. Yeah,
Dude.
It was hilarious.
Dude,
He was
what?
getting so mad.
Chris Smith is, you know, our
He was
buddy.
bullying the hell out
Spreader
of
Stuff.
Justin, and
Really?
Justin was getting so butthurt about it.
Seriously, man. When you finally start to find Justin's buttons and you know how to push them, it's the most fun. I think that's the reason me and Chad became friends in the first place, is because he was like, you can get to Justin. Hey, Todd. Seriously, I
Did we
think.
just become best friends?
Yep. Actually, I think that one of the first conversations we ever had was outside of Justin's grandmother's house smoking cigarettes. And God, I wish he would shut the fuck up.
That's one reason why we talk a lot too. It's like we're just, I hate part of it, man.
Hey, I mean, I realize I have my things too, you know, but
He's just constant.
I hope he doesn't watch this.
He's a constant.
Constant.
he's a constant.
Let's get to Survivor Series next. That was Sunday.
Not
Constant
much happened on
raving.
NXT anyway.
Yeah.
Constant holder.
Except for this coming Wednesday, it's going to be
You
all
said
red,
Justin
everything
Constant
getting her
holder?
title match.
The first match,
I've got it in order.
Holder
You do.
horses.
what's the
Yeah.
first one?
It's a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. It was Bo Dallas.
But was
and
that
Miz.
on the card though? Actually,
I think that was the
pre-show.
pre-show.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk.
Because I
about
think
it.
that
I've got
was
that.
that one was the pre-show and the one with Sheamus.
Oh, it was on there? Yeah. Okay.
Because I watched that about 8:30 before I just turned it on my phone.
Tune in as the Cavs, Warriors, and Bulls fans go head-to-head for 2 full hours every Monday starting at 5 p.m. on 97.9 FM.
I'm gonna crash so hard.
Huh?
And this is over.
Hey, y'all want to be live whenever we do this?
Talk to us on Facebook.
Signature?
The Wrestling
Yeah,
Reel
yeah.
with Drumb and Drumber.
The world is watching and the world is listening. Here, we are back on the Wrestling Rail with Drumb and Drumber. Again, I am Chad Burdine. Justin Holder is out of town today.
Thankfully.
Thank Todd. Thank Todd.
And you are welcome, sir. You are welcome.
We just got done talking about Ring of Honor and what an amazing show that was in Nashville this past Friday. But now we're going to move on to what happened on Sunday. The WWE, one of their forefront pay-per-views of the year, Survivor Series. And they were actually amping up 25 years of The Undertaker. And I gotta say, too much build with the Wyatts. It's like, it's a constant. It's like it always, this is what happens with the Wyatts. They're the ones that start a feud, and it's really good, but all of a sudden it's like, you're going to get buried at the very end. Like, what's the point of any storyline the Wyatts are put in? Doesn't matter who it's with. It could be really good. It could be just mediocre. They all end up getting squashed.
Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Undertaker at WrestleMania,
Yes.
John Cena at WrestleMania before that.
What is the point? And I get it. Okay, if you're doing 25 years of Undertaker, yes, you don't want to lose. It's going to make it a lot less special. But come on, what are you going to do from here on out with the Wyatt family? Please, WWE, book them strong. They've got the potential, and especially with a weak roster right now, they're going to have to build
Some
Wyatt.
stars.
Yes, build these stars, because we haven't gotten to it yet. But Cesaro, he's out for 4 to 6 months.
Ouch.
Done. Yes, had
Ouch.
surgery. Was it yesterday or was it today?
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday. Out 4 to 6 months. Okay, we got Seth Rollins out of WrestleMania 32. We've got Cesaro out for WrestleMania 32.
Possibly.
Who else? There's somebody else that's out. Well, we saw that Bret Hart.
Randy Orton's out for a
Randy
while.
Orton, yeah, that's another guy that's out for a while. I mean,
Bret Hart's out.
yeah, Bret Hart's, man, gosh, we can't even bring him back because he's getting wrist surgery, right? Was that what it was?
Yeah. From
Poor
an injury
guy.
in 81.
I think it's time we make the call, gentlemen. Somebody ring up Duke the Dumpster Drove.
Bring him back!
Come on.
Bring him back!
TL Hopper Fan Club.
Max, but did you enjoy Survivor Series overall?
No.
Why?
It wasn't good. It wasn't a traditional Survivor Series pay-per-view.
It was very lackluster.
Everybody was calling it the worst pay-per-view of 2015.
And could very well be the worst Survivor
Series
Series of all
matches
time.
sucked.
Yes.
I
mean,
they were terrible.
there was
Especially
no
compared to the
traditional-
last pay-per-view. Like,
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell was a great pay-per-view.
Hell in a Cell was really, really good, but when they follow up with this with Survivor Series and so much hype going on with the Undertaker, it's like, okay, is everything else that's going to be on the card just going to be not even secondary? Is it going to be like on just the complete back burner?
Like,
Are they going to rush everything?
to be honest with you, for me, the biggest part of it was the return of Goldust.
Yeah, and it was cool seeing him last
Yeah,
night too.
I've always been a huge Goldust fan, so I was glad to see him back, and also one of my favorite entrance musics of all time.
By far, one of the best entrance music. I used to go to sleep to this music
we
all the time.
we had this
Love it,
conversation.
yes.
Oh yeah, put it on repeat on your
Yes,
CD player.
yes. It's hypnotic. You will never forget the name of Goldust. And I was at Raw last night and getting to see him still going at it. And I was talking about this before we even went on the air about 22 minutes ago. Everything in WWE right now is so slow. The in-ring work is so slow. But man, Goldust at age, what is he, 46, 47?
I don't think he's quite that old. I'd say he's in his maybe
Mid-40s?
early mid-40s.
The guy
But-
can just move though. Fantastic.
But, well, when he got out of rehab and stuff, he kind of almost did the Eddie thing where he just,
zero.
started built it,
Yeah.
bulking back up, and right now, actually, I'd say probably about 3 years ago, he was probably in the best shape of his life. Like
Yeah.
when he made that return run with
Wrote
his
a
brother.
book about it, yeah.
The book, which is an amazing book, I've got it if you want to borrow it.
Love
But,
to actually. I've never read it.
It's really good, but like he's just in really good shape, and he's talked about doing him and Cody at WrestleMania, which I would love to see.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, that to me, that's money.
I just don't want to see it as Stardust versus Goldust. Me personally, I wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah, I would kind of like to see Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes.
That would be just brother, straight up. I mean,
put all the gimmicks out the window,
yeah.
and or even as a tribute to their dad.
That would be
something
awesome.
like that.
At WrestleMania 32 in Dallas,
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was the son of a Texas family,
yeah.
right? I mean, so they're all from the Texas.
He was just a common man. America Dream.
He's just a common man. Love it. Working hard with his hands. American Dream. Anyway, back to Survivor Series. Yes, it was very below average, and they started out with the traditional Survivor Series match with The Miz and Bo Dallas and Stardust, and then the Ascension, which is Connor and Victor versus Neville, Bubba Ray, Devon, the Dudley Brothers against Titus O'Neil and Goldust. So it ended up just being who was the winners, Max, on that one?
King Goldust.
Yeah, it was the Dudley Boys, Titus O'Neil, and Goldust. So they're like the sole survivors. But man, and then after that, we're still getting all this Tyler Breeze momentum going. I love Tyler Breeze, but my gosh, I think it's really hard for him to get over on this main roster crowd.
Yeah.
No, because he did so well in NXT. He was there for almost 3 years it seemed. Never won the title, but was always the guy that they wanted to put in the ring with if they wanted to have a good match.
Yeah.
Always, But now, since he's been moved up, every time he comes out, even last night I was at Raw, nobody gets into it. I tried to get chants going left and right. Just nobody bites on Tyler Breeze right now. But of course it's going to take time. But at least, hopefully, WWE is trying to create a star in Tyler Breeze. Because it's what they're not doing with other people is creating legit stars. That's what we need right now.
I was actually having this conversation last night with a friend of mine. It's, we've only, as far as WWE goes, there's only maybe 4 or 5 guys on the roster who are, what we would call household names.
Right.
Like John Cena, The Undertaker. You might be able to put Randy Orton on that list. But other than those couple of guys, they really don't have anybody who, even, people who don't watch wrestling. People who don't watch wrestling know who Hulk Hogan is.
Right.
They know who John Cena is.
They
might even
guy,
possibly
sure.
know who The Undertaker is. But we don't have that right now. We don't have guys who, transcend the quote-unquote wrestling world. And it's more about, it's just, wrestling fans, yeah, we know these guys. We love these guys. But, how are they, creating new fans?
I don't think it's necessarily, the wrestler's fault because
No.
I've heard several times, especially on the Stone Cold podcast, it's like Stone Cold's always trying to, send out a positive message to all the people in the back now saying, you just got to step up and do it. But
Yeah.
it's easier said than done in today's WWE political backstage. What's going on, because you're walking on eggshells every time you're back there. Like, yeah, they all have the drive to be the next big thing or a household name, if you will. But as soon as they try to do something, they get in trouble and they get put in the doghouse and they get de-pushed. They get pushed back down the card or they get fired,
Well, one of the saddest stories of that is, we've had this conversation before, is Zack Ryder. This guy
Great example.
from the ground up created this great grassroots movement following with his YouTube show. Got super over with the fans to the point where they're
himself. He did it all himself.
They're chanting for Zack Ryder over The Rock's promo.
Whoa, you know it.
Exactly. And they give him the U.S. title, which was cool. And then they did that thing with him and Eve Torres, and then he's back to mid-card mafia. He's not
because he was up against Cena.
Yeah.
Anytime you're with Cena, bye-bye.
He's not even on the mid-card mafia anymore. He's He's not
He's
even main
NXT.
eventing.
He's in with
He's
NXT
Drumb
with
and
Mojo
NXT,
Rawlin.
The
Yeah.
Hype
And,
Bros.
and,
Yeah.
and it's so sad because that guy is such an amazing worker, an
Yeah.
amazing talent. Seems like a great human being, and it
He's just trying to get over.
And he just tried and tried and tried, and he did everything right, and just got buried.
Well, I if you guys do not have the WWE Network, you need to get it. It's only $9.99 a month, but plus they've got this show called Breaking Ground. It's basically the behind the scenes of what's going on in NXT, and they've got a really cool thing on Zack Ryder right now because he is in NXT currently with Mojo Rawlin. They're called the Hype Brothers, and man, Mojo is pretty much like he blows up bigger than blows up bigger than Ultimate Warrior. Like you thought Ultimate Warrior would blow up before he got to the ring.
Jeez.
Mojo is on another level. Like it's non-stop. But we got to take a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back here on the Wrestling Grill. We'll be right back. I thought you were doing this. Did you not do that? I thought you did that.
No, we had another minute.
Oh, my bad, dude. I'm sorry. I thought I saw your hand.
Oh, man.
My
Well,
bad.
we got a minute, I guess.
Yeah, my bad, dude. Shit.
That's cool.
Well, let's get to
I know.
Yeah,
I
just
was,
run through
I
Survivor
was saying
Series real
that.
quick.
do what now?
I was saying that he corrected you on how you said Hot Brothers, and it's Hot Bros.
Bros, yeah.
Bros, man. Bros. Hype Bros.
Hype Bros. The brothers
Broski.
of hype. Yeah, let's get into like Roman Reigns. So let's get into the whole
Oh, man.
the two matches, the semifinal matches. And
He'd
then-
never
Did
call.
you hear? Do you remember what Kevin Owens said during the match? He had Dean Ambrose in a headlock, and he went Chinlock City, baby.
You should mention that when we come back on the other.
I wonder if that's like a
Which one
a
did we
tease
come back
towards
on?
Brock Lesnar. Do you think that would work?
I'd like to see Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar.
Let's do the Tonight's the Night. We'll do that one.
Yeah.
Please, my whole crew makes cheese tonight, baby. So roll up on me.
We did Raw's War last week, right? Did we ever do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we did that.
Too much blood and not enough blood. Yeah.
I've still got a copy of that album.
We did that one night
I've
too.
still got a copy of that CD.
Really, that's awesome.
I've got the first 5 WWE the music.
Nice.
I've got mine. They're all ripped, but
On Amazon, I found the book of the guitar tabs from Forcible Entry.
Dude.
I'm actually thinking about
I
ordering
love
it.
Forcible Entry. That was
Still one of my
awesome.
favorites.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Did you ever listen to Aggression, the rap album? There was actually some pretty good tracks on
Nice.
there. Kane or Snoop Dogg did a song for Kane that was really cool.
Dude, Sasha Banks was awesome last night. I totally forgot she was there. She was really
I would lick her ass if I could give him a chance.
both of them.
Seriously. I would
I'll never forget. I'll never look at Matt Selesky the same anymore.
Get your tweet read live on the air.
Hey.
Of course. Yeah.
What? Oh.
Tonight.
We're back on the Wrestling Grill with Drumb and Drumber. We were just recapping and starting to get into what happened on Survivor Series. And if you guys didn't know, the Seth Rollins got injured about 3 weeks ago at a house show in Ireland that they were having. It was against Kane and towards the finish of the match. Seth Rollins was supposed to do a flip over power bomb on Kane off the turnbuckle and just landed a little awkward. Tore his ACL, his meniscus, or
Yeah,
what
his
else is
MCL.
MCL? Yeah, and so he's out. So what happened? We have a vacated WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Nobody is a champion, the heavyweight champion right now. So they had a tournament to determine who's going to be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We've had for the past couple weeks on Raw, we've had a few matches, but the semifinals that were the last 2 remaining matches until the actual finals was We had Roman Reigns against,
Alberto Del Rio.
Del Rio.
And Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens.
and everybody was kind of predicting, they wanted to see, if, which we know nobody really wanted Roman Reigns, but if the perfect scenario we were trying to get out of this was Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, with hopefully somebody turning heel at the end. As far as the match goes with Del Rio and Roman Reigns, that was a great match. I'm not going to lie. It was a fantastic match. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," several times. But we got the winner was Roman Reigns, and then the next one we had was Kevin Owens against Dean Ambrose. And what'd you think about that one?
Oh, it was good. I had a lot of good spots. And then Kevin Owens said something during the match, which I thought was hilarious.
What did he say?
He put Dean Ambrose in a headlock, and he was kind of playing at the crowd. He just goes, "Chinlock City, baby."
That's one thing that he does so well. Like, not only on Twitter, but even in the live audience. He always plays off the fans. When the fans want something, he's going to act like he's going to give it to them, but then he doesn't. It's the cheap heat that you get from Kevin Owens. But the winner of that match was Dirty Deeds, Dean Ambrose. So, and the finals for the match for the vacated WWE World Heavyweight title, we have Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose, the two former members of the Shield, going one-on-one. But we'll get to that match in a second. We also had, what were the other matches we had?
We had another 5-on-5
5-on-5
Survivor Series match, which was The New Day, Sheamus and King Barrett versus the Usos, the Lucha Dragons, and Ryback. And the faces came out on top on that one.
Giggity. Which it wasn't a bad match, but still, when you have those kind of people in a Survivor Series traditional elimination match, it's too spotty. Way too many spots for just a regular traditional match. But then next we had Paige versus Charlotte, and that was not that bad.
I thought it was a pretty good match.
Really good match. Even last night, I went to Raw last night. That was a great match as well. But Charlotte ends up winning, and she celebrates after the match, and they go to the panel, and we got JoJo talking backstage to Dean Ambrose, and talks about facing Roman Reigns, and there's a lot of hype behind it because we're all expecting Roman Reigns to win. It's like it's the go-to. Like it's too predictable. They've been building him up. We've talked about it for weeks. Todd, you actually had we were on here a few weeks ago, and you were kind of starting to slowly but surely get on the Roman Reigns bandwagon.
Well, the match he had with Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell, like I really had to give him credit. Like he made himself a superstar that night. Like he really worked his tail off and pulled off a really, really good match. Like I had to give him, one of those you got to give the devil his due kind of situations. Like I had to eat my own words.
But I mean, at the same time, Roman, if you're going to be built up to be the next big thing, don't make it so darn obvious. Like, if you can make it a little bit more organic, I think that's Roman's problem. He can't just improv that well.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, so this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. This is what I got to get across. But how do you get out of that comfort zone and make it your own? But I got to say, last night at Raw, my wife and I, which it was her first show ever, we sat right on the end where we had no idea, but Roman Reigns walked right by us twice last night. We had no idea that's where we were sitting. But then everybody started standing up, like, what are they looking at? I was like, oh, holy crap, Roman Reigns is going to walk right by us. So twice throughout the show, he walked by us. It was pretty cool, and I told him that he sucked several times, and we fist bumped it a couple times. But, I mean, it is what it is. We're getting Roman Reigns still, but unfortunately, we didn't get a Dean Ambrose maybe heel turn that we were kind of expecting. It would have been awesome to see him, or Roman. I would like to see a heel turn for both of them. But they put on a pretty good match between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And what happened at the very end?
Sheamus
cashes in, and they had a huge celebration after it was over. Confetti going for a good 5 minutes. I mean, it was like freaking WrestleMania confetti.
Yeah.
Still dropping forever. Triple H comes out while the confetti's still dropping and reaches out gives him his hand for a handshake to say, like, good job. Roman, throws him away, walks away, turns around, spears him. Next thing we see, Sheamus is in the ring, cashes in, Bro kicks him, but then Roman kicks out at 2. So it's like, oh, little excitement going on. You know, good thing it wasn't a big squash. You know, it's not a cash in 1, 2, 3 over. Let it hype up because we still had 20 minutes left on the show. We're like, is the show over? It's like we know that the actual match is over, but good God, like we got 20 minutes left. There's got to be some more story that's going to happen with this. So then he kicks out at 2. There's an Irish whip. There's a duck, and we're like, oh gosh, Roman's about to make a comeback, but then he gets hit with a second bro kick. 1, 2, 3. We get the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
It's actually the corporate kill now.
Oh, is that what they're going with now? The corporate Celtic?
That's what someone coined. I like it, though.
That is kind of cool. But it's still Sheamus.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we've talked about this all the time. Whenever we bring up Sheamus, it's like we got to talk about it. But he's going to be rock steady. Well, he's going to be rock steady. I'm sorry, Bebop. No, Rock Steady. It's Rock Steady. Yeah, according to Fletch, he said it was Rock Steady. Thanks, Fletch. But I hope they're not putting the title on him just for the sake of a movie promo.
And, originally that role was supposed to go to one Mr. CM Punk.
Yep. Who's actually now just got done writing, what did he just
Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to be doing an ongoing Drax series for Marvel Comics.
Good for him. While he's just sitting at home doing nothing. They all say that he's training for MMA. Doubt it. I doubt it.
Doing nothing but AJ Lee.
Hello, AJ Lee. Anyway, Max, what would you say your favorite part of the whole Night of Survivor series was?
Well, it kind of happened during the Undertaker Kane versus Bray Wyatt Luke Harper match when Undertaker came out and the coffins on the stage. They had all the 25 years of Undertaker.
That was cool.
Go do that.
That was really cool.
I didn't really have a certain match part, but I really enjoyed that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
And the finish, like, it was just a clean finish. No story afterwards, just moving on. Which I was hoping, we talked about on the show a few weeks ago when the night after Hell in a, or actually it was Hell in a Cell after Brock won, the Wyatt family came out and attacked him, you know. And I was hoping that since they abducted Undertaker and then they abducted Kane the next night on Raw, that they would have a Survivor Series traditional 4-on-4, 5-on-5 match. And I was hoping to get a dream team of Taker, Kane, which I was hoping Sting, and maybe the debut of a new demon, Finn Balor. And sure enough, it was just nothing but just a 2-on-2. So,
yeah, another disappointment.
Another disappointment. You know, we all can't be happy. We all wish there's certain things that could happen, but we have to give respect where respect is due. And Undertaker's the most loyal ever commodity that WWE has ever had, ever.
Well,
so.
I mean, to be able to run that gimmick for a quarter of a century, I mean, is a testament to the man himself.
I mean, Undertaker's the man, but we got to take a really short break. We'll be right back for the main event here on the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber.
Fox Sports.
Gotta take a pause for our cause.
And what time do you actually get off the air? Like 11:55?
I mean, we should have plenty of time.
We still got 2 segments.
No, we have one
segment left.
It's only 11:40. I thought.
I know. That's what I'm wondering.
We have plenty of time.
Check with Jay, see if we're, because I'm not sure how to fully read this. Hey, there's just got this. Solomon Crow's been removed. His profile's been removed from NXT.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Solomon Crow.
What happened?
Adam Rose or whatever.
What happened?
They haven't said. But
What?
It's just I guess a rumor right now. Nothing's been confirmed or denied. His latest tweet was yesterday, and the earth stood still.
What were you saying about Solomon Crow? I didn't hear the beginning of what you were saying.
Yeah, we don't have. I mean,
See, I thought
we've got time. It looks like we've got about 3 extra minutes.
That's fine.
So
I mean, we can.
we
Let's get into Raw. Let's cover it.
Okay.
Let's do that. We're going out tonight.
no, no Nickelback.
We
got
really-
it on there.
What is? Oh, do you not like that, Todd?
I don't like Nickelback.
We just came back from Tonight's the Night, didn't we? That's what we did last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
because it's Nickelback. And
What else do we have? Jericho, Batista, Stone Cold.
Archer. I was gonna say, what was the best thing about Survivor or Raw? Archer didn't come out.
Something awesome, actually.
My name is Dale Pazitsky. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live United. I've always been kind of
Let's do Edge's music coming back on, too.
Okay.
is it the Metalingus music?
It's the...
On this day, I see clips. Creed the
You gonna do a
sequel.
SmackDown one?
Alter Bridge. It's basically all.
Yeah.
It's basically
Without
Creed
Scott
without
Stapp.
Scott
Great
Stapp.
SmackDown. We're gonna do SmackDown.
Yeah, okay, we're doing
You gonna do SmackDown, Travis?
Or do Kurt Angle. Dun, 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 dun.
You suck.
Can we just sit here going, you
Suck.
Yeah, we'll do the You Sucks.
Yeah.
That's huge. When somebody says, hey man, that job that you're doing, I got it. That's
Yeah,
what living
that's it.
United feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazitsky. I help people.
Well, Dale, I hope you die.
What did Jay say?
Just wear this shirt. I love it.
Give,
Chat.
advocate, volunteer, Live United.
Chat.
Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way
Chat.
and the Ad Council.
So I've
What did Jay say?
and I just moved in with this new human,
Good.
and she's got this
I'm
little
a
boy she's
cat.
always
Because
with.
when we only cut off a minute earlier.
Hey, you just let me know when we need to wrap it up, and I'll
I can't put it down.
wrap it up this last thing.
Because-
Okay.
because she even
Are you a
tells
Trojan or a
me
lifestyle
she
fan?
wants to put
You know what?
Dude, I'm
You
married.
said you were gonna wrap it up.
I'm married.
humans are cool.
I didn't think about that. Rusev
Best
and
thing to happen to us out there.
Lana, they were in their hometown.
Yeah,
Brought to you by
but she wasn't there. I was kind of expecting that before he came out. The Finn Balor show.
Show us your opinion at the Wrestling Reel on Twitter.
You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck. You gotta love the Kurt Angle music, man. If there's one guy that I would love to come back to WWE and finish and retire and get his proper place in the Hall of Fame, Kurt freaking Angle. I love that.
Kurt Franklin?
Kurt Franklin. What was that song that he had?
Stomp.
Stomp.
GP, are you?
Yet.
GP, are you with me?
Oh yeah, we got the church. You ain't going. Oh yeah.
GP, are you with me?
Well, let's get into. We've already gone over Ring of Honor from Friday. We went over Survivor Series from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. It was their.
Not a sponsor.
It was their not a sponsor. It was their November pay-per-view of the month. Next month we got TLC, which there's already a build from that because last night I
Todd
went
loves
to
chocolate.
the live event, live Monday Night Raw in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena, and I've got to give a shout out to my wife. Thank you so much, baby, for getting tickets and surprising me. We had a blast. I hope you had a blast. I know you did. Which we took pictures in front of the tour buses and yeah. Had a blast. We went by TNA headquarters also, and I gave them the crotch chop, and you can actually see. I just posted a picture on Facebook earlier about it. But yeah, Raw last night. It was in Nashville, which is the hometown of who's currently living there is Rusev and Lana, the recently engaged couple, and they've both been out for a while. In the first segment, who comes out? Rusev makes an appearance. He makes a comeback, but we don't see Lana, which we all got. I got a couple of chants started like we want Lana, and sure enough, nothing. She didn't show up. But we were kind of hoping for that. But it started off with Sheamus. It started off with the Authority actually coming out, and then introducing Sheamus, and then Roman Reigns makes his way out, who passes us by, gives me a fist bump, and they start a conversation. Then Rusev comes out and interrupts it all. And then all of a sudden, the main event, we've got Roman Reigns versus Rusev, and Sheamus is ringside the whole time. And but throughout the duration of the show, it wasn't too hot of a show. Undertaker was not there. Kane was not there. Hoping they would be there from the fallout of Survivor Series. But what I really did enjoy was seeing the Dudley Boys. I haven't seen them in years. Last time I saw them was in TNA, and of course he was doing the whole Bully Ray gimmick, which I think is one of the best, if not the best heel character in the past 5 years.
I completely agree with you. I actually think it's probably the best thing he's done his entire career. And I'm a huge Dudley's fan. You know me. I am the ECW guy as far as our group goes. But
didn't you work a show with Devon here in town?
Yeah. I didn't actually get to work with him himself, but I worked on that show. He super nice guy.
He seems like it.
Super nice guy. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a huge ECW guy, big on the Dudleys, but I really think the Bully Ray thing was probably the best run of his entire career.
Well, he had a lot of creative control, and he's so believable because he has that New York, hill accent, and just went to town on it.
That, and what a lot of people don't realize is, he was very instrumental in helping Paul Heyman run ECW. Like, he was, booking all... he was actually booking the events. Everybody in ECW wasn't just a wrestler. Like, you had another job. Like, Taz designed all the merchandise. Everybody did something else. But, Bully learned a lot of that early on from working with Paul. So,
you can see a lot of that character coming through.
Yeah, exactly. And so, getting put in that position. That's why you see all these old ECW guys running shows, because they basically had to do it. Like Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore.
He is killing it with that right now.
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said, Tommy Dreamer's another guy I've always been a huge fan of. But
genius. He is a genius.
What he's done with House of Hardcore is incredible, and I'd love to go to one of their shows.
One match last night at Raw that I was not expecting to be that great, but man, I'm a huge Sasha Banks fan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she
The
last
boss.
night, yes, it was awesome. They came out, it was Team Bad. It was Sasha Banks, Tamina Snuka, and Naomi. They came out, and Sasha was going one-on-one against Becky Lynch. I'm not too huge on Becky Lynch because she wasn't in NXT that long. And she gets called up, and she wasn't really part of the whole the Four Horsewomen movement. But at the same time, it's like, why are you the one that's getting? Is it your charisma? Maybe. She does have a lot of charisma, and she's not a bad in-ring worker. But why does she get called up before anybody? Like Emma, she got called up for a while. Was Santino was doing a kind of a comedy act gimmick, but now she's back in NXT just being a heel when she's a great worker. I think Emma's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really do. But Sasha Banks won that. Very, 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 very good match.
She tapped out.
Yeah. Sasha did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, what happened was Becky didn't she put her in it, but then there was like a distraction.
Yeah,
so then she rolled her up.
on the ring apron and
Yeah.
the ref.
Still really good, though.
She tapped out. We all know she tapped out.
She tapped. Not official, but she did. But then Mark Henry, has he been gone for a while?
Not really.
I really haven't really paid attention that much to Mark Henry, but it was Mark Henry against Neville. And I was telling my wife, I was like, oh, this is going to be a squash match. If you need to go to the bathroom, go ahead. She's like, no, I'll wait it out. So she hung around, and wow, Neville beat Mark Henry.
Wow.
And which was an actual reverse squash match, if I might add. Neville beating...
Upset.
Yeah, beating him in like 3 or 4 minutes. Very short match, but it was really cool at the very end. Neville's music's playing, he's celebrating, and, Mark Henry's out of the ring kind of selling from what happened in the match. Turns around, and they shake hands. I was expecting another heel turn, a Hall of Pain heel turn of with Mark Henry, but no. A show of respect from both of them, and we go to commercial. But it was a very good match. I was not expecting Neville to have like a reverse squash match against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And man, getting to see Red Arrow live, that move, no joke, the guy can move.
Oh yeah.
Very, 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 very agile. But then we had Goldust and the Primetime Players.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Millions
Against the Ascension and Stardust. Really, really good match. And I got to say, they did a,
It's the Cosmic Wasteland.
Oh, my bad. No, no, no. You're always there to correct me, Max. Good job. Good job. But last night, who was it? Stardust was cutting a promo backstage, and of course, at the live audience, we're seeing on the Titantron, and we saw that on the Titantron, and he's Cody's cutting Stardust is cutting a promo backstage, and all of a sudden Titus walks in. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I must have taken a wrong turn somewhere." Titus O'Neil, I'll say this, has a lot of charisma.
Oh yeah.
They need to push. I'm not saying to the moon, but they can make him a viable, really good guy in the company.
Well, with the whole WWE films thing too. I mean, he would be a great comedic actor.
Well,
Put him in.
He does the whole the Father of the Year. He's
yeah.
he's a great face for the company.
Do like some kind of family comedy movie. That dude would kill it.
Oh yeah.
Millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars.
But getting to see Goldust live, like we hit on that earlier, still got it.
Oh yeah.
Still got it.
Crisp as anything.
Fantastic. But then we had still to come. We had Alberto Del Rio and Culture. That was kind of It is what it is. That they're bringing Jack Swagger back, and I guess they're going to start a feud, and kind of boring. But then they had a really good match between Paige and Charlotte, another fantastic match that went on for good, 15, 20 minutes, and which had no idea that they were going to have this match. But they had Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose versus Tyler Breeze and Kevin Owens. Now that really good match. Didn't last that long because, of course, we still had Roman Reigns versus Rusev towards the end, so they kind of had to rush that match. But it was really cool seeing, Tyler Breeze and Kevin Owens work together, and Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose. It was really good. But then, of course, we had the main event of the night, Rusev versus Roman Reigns. A lot of back and forth. Very, very, let me say this, very slow match. Both guys in the ring, they're not good for each other, especially on a Raw. Very slow, very, very slow. But what happened was King Barrett came out under the ring and hit Reigns with the bullhammer, and so got disqualified, or Roman won by disqualification. And just overall, the Raw wasn't that spectacular, but it was entertaining. Had a good time.
Ended with the Mid-Card Mafia.
The Mid-Card Mafia taking over. But guys, we've had a great time. Don't forget, every Tuesday here on Fox Sports Shoals, it is the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber. You guys have a great Tuesday. Have a great rest of the week. We'll see you next week. This is the Wrestling Reel with Drumb and Drumber, because it's still real to us.
Forgot to mention that they made the TLC match. I was up here.
Good. Good sign off, man. Todd? Questions, sir? Matt? Yes, sir. Yeah, it's too sweet.
I was just trying to...
Too sweet, YouTube! That was a cool chant, too. Too sweet! Too sweet! Too sweet! Too sweet!
Get your own gimmick! That was probably one of my top 5 favorite parts right there.
Dude, I saved so many videos from the young